Good evening. You are welcome to this show. My name is Kingsley, and I would like you to introduce yourself.
Hi, good evening, ma. Thanks for having me on the show. My name is Kemi Obafemi, and I work as a legal practitioner within the civil service.
Thank you very much. The Lifter Show is a talk show where we encourage women, we equip women for success in the journey of life. And we're here today to talk about an important matter, which is just going on in the whole of, I'll just say, the world. We're talking about Black Lives Matter, which of course started from America and is flowing everywhere right now. And it's just about the fact that Black Lives Matter, just as it is. Black Lives Matters is a campaign against racial attack, and it's just to put the voices of Blacks down to say that our lives actually matter. I just want you to shed some light on Black Lives Matters. What do you know about it? Any?
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. That's a very interesting topic, because that's what's going on in this modern day of ours. That's what we hear all over. When you switch on the TV, you listen to, you go on social media. It's all about Black Lives Matters, BLM, and it really matters, because this thing has been going on for ages, for years, and it's there hasn't been a voice to it. Though we can see it, we can feel it, and we know it's happening, it exists, but there hasn't been a voice. But on what happened to George Floyd, that raised the awareness of the lives of Blacks, that it really does matter. And so, it's so sad because there's been so many innocent lives that have been lost, due to this issue going on. And as you rightly said, this emanated from the US. Based on the police brutality that's been happening all over. And, they don't seem to care who is watching them, who is videoing them. They don't seem to care, And I remember I watched a little documentary about some ex-cops who had left the academy. And what they said was that, they were in this meeting, they were talking about it. And what they said was that they have this quota that they have to meet up every month. So what the head would say, the superintendent would say to them is they should go out and arrest as many people as possible, especially in the BAME community. When I say BAME, I'm talking about the Black, Asian, minority, minor, and ethnicity. So they've asked them to do that. And when they just have to do that, and they say it doesn't matter if they've committed a crime or not. We just want to boost our statistics, the quota figure that they have. So that is a very wrong, robust recommendation for such an activity. But anyway, that's what they do. They would go there. And I could remember one man, the ex-cop, giving an example of a man that he arrested. And what was his arrest? Because he was riding on his bicycle too fast. He caught, he stopped him down and, and just went through all the procedure of knocking him on the floor, punching him, tying him, putting him in handcuff and telling him not to resist arrest and all that. And, it's just so bad what happens. And it's about time that we need to voice out and express how we feel, because if no one says it for us, we have to say it by ourselves, and then we'll get the support we need. So it's all over. And mind you, it's not only in the United States of America that this thing is happening. It's happening here in UK. So I would say UK is not innocent of this, and other countries out there, even in Africa as well, because you see lynching, how they lynch, how they rape and kill people, it's just so bad. You understand? So it's all over the place. And I just hope that one day, there will be a legislation that will be passed on, and a stop will be put to this, or at least, people will be mindful of what they're doing. So yeah, it's a sad thing.
Yeah, but one thing that we would like everybody to note is that racial attack is not anything personal to anybody. is like an attack against the race, against the Black race. So if anyone, or anyone is passing through it or experiencing it at the moment, I think everybody should understand that this thing is not like a personal thing. It's something that happens generally. It's something that goes on like everywhere, especially in the workplace and in the business world, wherever you have multiple ethnicity. So this goes on, and I think it's about time that people begin, because this thing has caused a lot. Some people have, some people are experiencing mental issues because of this. Some are sick, some are sick physically. There are different consequences of racism that people have experienced, So I think is one thing everybody should understand is that it's not an attack against one person, against an individual. So if anybody is going through it, just understand that it's not personal to you alone. It's like something that goes on in different places. And so I'm saying this so that people would not take it so much to heart. They will not begin to experience depression or mental issue or falling sick, high blood pressure, developing sickness or illness because of this. That's why I'm trying to emphasize it. But may I ask you, I know you've been in the you've been working in the UK for quite a while now. I just want to ask, have you ever experienced racism or racial abuse or anything like that? Is it something you've experienced before?
I laugh and I chuckle because I would say at one point in time, it became a norm. I'll give you two good examples. There was a time I had a case at Southampton Crown Court. Now, at that time, I wasn't, practicing as a lawyer, but I was a paralegal, and I was meant to meet the barrister at the court. So, with the papers, so I had all the case materials with me. Now, I got to the court, went through the security, and after going through the security, I now asked one of the security officers. There were like 3 or 4 then. So I asked him where the CPS, because then I was working, with the Crown Prosecution Service. So I asked him where the CPS office is. All he needed to do was to, direct me to the, point to the right direction and ask me to go there. But the next thing he said in front of everybody was that, oh, you need to sit in the lobby and wait for your barrister to come and get you. What is your offense? And I looked at him, it's like, sorry, I haven't committed any offense. I am on the prosecution side.
Wow.
So he now changed his mind. You could see his countenance. It's changed all of a sudden. He left his duty post and went all out to take me to the CPS room.
Wow.
Now, we went into the lift. He didn't say anything. When we got out of the lift and we were walking down the corridor, he was right in front of me. I was at the back. He turned around and said to me, oh, I do apologize. He didn't use the word sorry. He just said, I do apologize. I thought you came here for something else. But, when he said that thing, I had 101 things to say to him. But I just thought, let me comport myself, because we're not.
So because you are Black, he thought you were a criminal.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, and I just didn't have the time to explain anything to him, because number one, my hearing was at 10 o'clock. And by this time, I'm talking about 9:50, and I was meant to meet the barrister and, present him with the case materials and quickly brief him of the hearing. So I just didn't have any time for him. But, that's one thing. And what I would say is it's down to societal perception. Anyway, before I go, go into that, I'll give you the second example that I went through. Now, my previous place of work, the nature of my job was to deal with, complaints about lawmakers, and that's the best way I can put it for the purpose of this interview.
It's okay.
Now, I had the final say. So when complaints are received in the office, the paralegals will look through it and deal with the complaints. It's either they dismiss it or reject it or move forward with it. So at the end of the day, I would now have the final look at it and make sure everything is within the legal terms and within the legal terms and the rules and regulations that we are that we need to comply with. So anyway, I had this particular complaint, and I just felt there was no need to go forward with it, because I read the case summary and everything, and I did some further research, as in, I ordered for the transcript of the hearing just to listen to it and see whether the complainant was, making the right complaint. So the long and short, I felt there was no case to answer, and I had to dismiss it. Now, when I was there, I had about 4 or 5 people working for me, working under me. So, I had the final say in my department. But there was this particular guy who was finding it difficult to take orders from me, or instructions, as it were. And anything I say, he would look for a way to, he would just want to diminish whatever I say, or diminish my character, or dismiss anything I say. And I thought, this can't be going on forever, And I mean, from day one that I went there, I knew what I wanted. I knew that, to be a leader, or to be accountable for some things, you need to be assertive in a subtle way, but you need to be assertive. So I saw where he was coming from. I knew he had this issue with me. So with this particular case, I made sure it went through, as in I rejected it. And then because it's been something that has been like one too many instances with him, I had to call him into a room and ask him what the issue is. Because I was thinking, could it be unconscious bias? Could it be gender bias? Could it be prejudice? Maybe he's been prejudiced, or could it be discrimination, or just that a Black woman is, making the final say? He's finding it difficult to take orders. So I needed to ascertain which of these categories, which of these factors, he belongs to. So of course we had that chat in the room. He said everything but meant nothing. And anyway, I told him, if you're having issues with me, this is the right time for you to talk about it, and we can iron it out, because we are meant to work as a team, and we have a common goal to achieve at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I haven't gone there to take any glory for myself. It's just, to make sure that business needs are being met, and, and both parties, as in the complainant and the lawmakers, are aware, we settle things the way it's meant to be settled, and so on. So that was one instance. And, as I said, it was something that was occurring on many instances. Maybe I send an email out now and say, I want a reply by close of play, maybe on a Friday or Thursday. He would make sure he delays he would deliberately go out of his way to want to frustrate me. And you know what it is to be, on the management level, when things are not submitted on time or met on time, it's the leader that will get the blame. So I'm thinking, why is he different out of all my, my team members? So eventually, I got another post, a better post, and left. But what I heard was that, he was micromanaging those that were under him, and that led to his suspension. So he had an issue, and, with what he had with them was different. But I know that what he had with me was more of a gender-based matter and racial matter. At the end of the day, he got what he deserves.
Two problems combined into one: gender bias, racial attack. Okay, so I would just ask you to encourage women now. Suppose they find, they're going through this or experiencing this, either gender issue or racial attack. If they're experiencing it at work, what suggestion or encouragement would you have for them?
Okay, thank God. Recently, where I work now, I work for this large organization that covers a lot of things for, England and Wales. And the theme for the month, or the theme for this lockdown period now, is the equality, diversity, and inclusion. So what that means is that we are including everybody, every race, every your gender, your race, your religion, as long as you're a human being. We're including everybody in this scenario, so that where people are encouraged to speak out, to talk, so they can receive the right support that they need. Now, there are many people who suffer in silence, and would I say that is their option? No. It's just that some people are introverts, and they just don't want to be seen as troublemaker. And some people are extroverts, and they don't want to be seen as troublemaker again, because some extroverts, when they talk, especially with the part of the world where I come from, we gesticulate a lot, and we show everything. Our facial expression says it all. And a non-Black would see it as aggressive. Oh, you're being aggressive, or this is a violent person coming up to me, too harsh, and so on. So going back to your question, the right way to approach this is to speak to a colleague. If you know you can't speak to your line manager, at least get a colleague. You have someone that you can talk to at work anyway. Speak to that, and then that might escalate to your line manager. Now, some people.
So the first advice you're giving to women, you're giving to
Yes.
anyone passing through this or experiencing this, is that they should find a line manager to speak with. Okay.
Yes, because you see, at the end of the day, what women should see, what you should think of is that you've woken up. Okay, now we're in lockdown period, but let me just say it this way: you've woken up. You're going to work. So some are going to work, especially the frontliners, and kudos to them. I thank God for their lives, what they're doing. May God continue to bless them. Now, some leave their house to go to work. Some wake up like me.
What encouragement would you have for women that are passing through or experiencing either gender issues or this racial attack?
Okay, it's simple. Number one, the key thing is communication. Communication is a two-way thing. So if anybody feels belittled or feels not happy at work and so on, the best thing is to talk about it. Okay, as I said earlier on, there's this thing going on. There's this discussion going on across the spectrum of the civil service, which is the equality, diversity, and inclusion. So they're trying to encourage every staff, no matter your grade, to talk, to speak out, to talk, how are you feeling, so that we can create a friendly working environment. So my advice to them is to talk, okay? They should find someone to talk to. It could be a member of staff who I'm sure they will have somebody that they can speak to. So that person can be their spokesperson. They can speak to their line manager. They can go directly to the line manager and say, this is how I'm feeling. Can you please look into this matter? And that's for people who feel they cannot face whoever this person is that they, that's making them feel belittled. So they should get a third party involved and speak and talk about it. Because at the end of the day, if your mind is not in the right place, there is the doubt, that you would perform well. You're most likely not going to perform well. And if you don't perform well, it's going to affect your performance. It's going to, that means, that person might be relegated or might be relieved of some duties, and it's going to reflect in that person's performance. Within the civil service, we do something called the individual personal and performance review. I beg your pardon. Individual performance review. And this is done in a year, but then it's split. There's the mid-year review and the end-of-year review. So why suffer? Why get bad results or bad scores? Because somebody, because you feel intimidated by somebody when you can speak out, okay? So it's best to speak out, especially when you're seeing the signs or you're feeling uncomfortable. You speak out. I'll give you a good example. There was a time I was managing this team, and this particular lady would come to work very late, and I didn't like it, because when I'm at work, I want to do things, I want to do it the proper way, and so on. So, and when she comes in, she's always apologizing. Oh, sorry, I'm late, sorry, I'm late. So there were some things I did not give her to do. There were some tasks I took away from her. So, and then I had to give it to her, the other stuff. Her own task wasn't, anyway. So she didn't like it. And eventually we had a one-to-one, and I now had to ask her why. Is there any problem at home? Because that's the first thing that a manager would think of. Do you like this job? That's the first thing. Is there anything bothering you at home? Are you all right? Are you this or that?
Yeah.
And what she said to me was, she doesn't like how how I've done how I've distributed the task to other people because she comes in late. And so on. So, and I said, okay. And as a manager, you need to take some blames. You need to take some critiques so that you can move forward, to know how to improve on your skills. So I asked her, okay, why do you come late then? Because I've asked you once or twice, and you haven't given me a tangible reason why.
Yeah.
So that day, she was able to break it down to me. She said she's got 3 children, and what she does, they go to 3 separate schools, so she has to do the commuting. She needs to do, she needs to do the school run before doing the commuting, and then she comes to work late. So what I said to her is that, okay, I would give you 6 months trial. So for this 6 months, instead of coming to work at 10 o'clock, let's give you that leeway and come in 10:30. Then the task that I'm distributing, I'll make sure I evenly distribute them so that you won't feel left out with that, and that worked very well. You see, so it's about communication, and if she hadn't, because she felt I was intimidating her, if she felt there was this sense of manipulation around her from me. But if she doesn't talk, I wouldn't know. And that's the advice I would give to people, that it could be your attitude. It could be something you're doing that person doesn't like. You understand? So you need to talk, because mind you, we are living in a cross-cultural country where we Africans, we've come with our own culture. And when we go to the workplace, there are different people with different cultures. And apart from that, there's a work culture. Again, there's a work culture to combat with. So we need to make sure that we're singing from the same hymn book. Okay, so if something is bothering you, you need to talk about it. So that's the first thing. The key thing is communication. The second thing is, if you cannot communicate, you haven't got the nerves, the front, the upfront to talk about it, then go back to your job description and see what you are doing. Are you doing it right? Are you delivering right? I mean, we do various jobs, so I can only speak for the environment where I work, because that's the one I understand the most.
That's fine. So
are you doing it right? Are you are you responding on time to emails? Are you providing feedback? Are you talking at meetings? Are you providing suggestions, opinions? What are you there for? You shouldn't be at work because you need to be at work. You shouldn't be at work because you just want to get the pay. You need to be heard. You need to be seen. You need to do more. You need to show that enthusiasm. Because when it comes to promotion or maybe an upgrade, you would want to be headhunted. I have been headhunted many a times, and it's because of my enthusiasm, my character, wanting to know things, putting my ears close to the ground, knowing what is happening, helping out. Even when a staff is absent from work, I would volunteer to do that person's job. You understand? So we shouldn't have that attitude that, it's just, I need to mind my own business as long as I get paid. So there are many things we need to do. So, and some people, they like that self-blame. They like that blaming others but themselves. This manager is not good to me. My colleague is not good to me. That one is not good to me. How about yourself? Have you checked yourself? Have you checked yourself? Your countenance, your relationship with your colleagues? Have you checked it? What are you doing right? How are you creating a friendly environment for yourself within your working, your work area and so on? So yeah, that's the advice I would give.
Okay, thank you very, very much. We really appreciate you on this show, and I want to believe, God, that this will bless a lot of women going through this issue, because we've had a few programs, people asking questions about especially gender problems, and when they are intimidated at work, how they would cope with it. And I'm sure this has given a lot of light. This has shed a lot of light to many things that women are going through. So I really appreciate you and say thank you for coming on the show. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. I do appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
If this video has blessed you, kindly like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like my Facebook page. Please share these pages and join me in spreading the gospel of Christ. Thank you.